Our girl Kim Yooyoung is the textbook definition of nice. That's what everyone says first. That's what they always say. She could save a cat from a burning building and they'd still go, wow, Yooyoung is so nice. It's not like she hates it, but sometimes she wonders what it'd be like if people saw her as something else. The problem is, she's not exactly the rebellious type. Instead of trying to change anything, she just studies hard and follows the plan laid out for her. Even passing the bar exam barely gets a reaction from her parents. They don't care about that. They care about other things, like this blind date, for example. Yooyoung is sitting at a fancy restaurant, waiting. Her mom spent the whole morning drilling the same message into her head. She has to make this guy like her. It doesn't matter what she thinks of him. If he's rich and from a good family, that's all that matters. Love? That's for people who have time to waste. If Yooyoung wants to be useful, she needs to marry well. It's pouring outside. She stares out the window, tapping her nails against the table. The guy might not even show up. Honestly, she wouldn't blame him. Who wants to go on a blind date in the middle of a storm? Maybe he took one look at her profile and decided she wasn't worth the trouble. Honestly, she wouldn't blame him. She wouldn't want to marry someone like her either. Just as she's about to give up and leave, her phone rings. A voice on the other end asks where she is. She blinks, glancing around the near-empty cafe. Oh, so today's blind date is actually happening. Fantastic. She tells him she's already here, sitting by the window. A moment later, the door swings open, and in walks the last person she expected to see. Cha Jihoon, the man from last night. Her brain short-circuits for a second. Out of all the people in the world, it had to be him. He makes his way over, looking as put together as ever. Have you been waiting long? No, I got here fast. I'm staying at this hotel. She smiles like this is completely normal and not an unbelievable coincidence. He stretches out a hand. Cha Jihoon. She takes it, pretending her heart isn't trying to launch itself into space. Kim Yooyoung. She thinks about how one bad decision got her here. Last night, they hadn't even exchanged names. It hadn't seemed important then. Now, apparently, it is. In a flashback to late last night, Yooyoung sits at a bar, wearing a stunning red dress, looking out of place among the dimly lit atmosphere. She's lived a quiet, obedient life and is craving something different. As she sips her drink, she thinks this isn't really her style and plans to go back to her room once she finishes. Just then, Jihoon walks in, his expensive suit accentuating his fit physique, and orders a Glenmorangie. They lock eyes, and Yooyoung can't help but stare. Jihoon's rugged appearance with furrowed eyebrows and slightly messy hair seems to warn her away, but she's drawn to him. Jihoon asks Yooyoung about her whiskey, and she admits it's good, but inside she knows that's a lie. She doesn't know much about whiskey's taste or scent. Jihoon asks if it isn't too strong, and she admits it kind of is. He suggests a twice up to dilute the drink. As they chat, Yooyoung finds herself captivated by Jihoon's charming demeanor. He asks if she came by herself, and she says yes. He asks if he can sit next to her. She knows he's not the type of man she can handle, but she can't refuse him. From Jihoon's perspective, he's intrigued by Yooyoung's awkwardness in the bar. She seems uncomfortable, shifting in her seat and scanning the room. Jihoon wonders what brought her here tonight. He usually doesn't get involved with other people, but there's something about Yooyoung that catches his eye. After finishing their drinks, they head to the elevator, and Yooyoung stumbles. Jihoon asks if she's all right, and she admits the alcohol was too strong. Jihoon remarks that the whiskey was around 40%. As the elevator stops, Yooyoung stumbles again, and Jihoon swiftly catches her, his eyes locked on hers. As our guy holds our girl, he notices the warmth of her body against his. Her half-open lips and sparkling eyes seem to silently ask him to hold her tighter. He can't resist and kisses her, feeling like he's losing his mind. Our female lead pulls away, looking flustered, and says she thinks she should go to her room, apologizing. Our male lead wonders why she's apologizing when he was the one who kissed her. He tells her to have a good night, and she thanks him for the drink. Just as the elevator doors are about to close, she asks if he would like to spend the night in her room since it's raining. Our guy's eyes light up with surprise, but he quickly regains his composure. As they get to her room, he takes off his suit jacket and they start kissing. She asks him to wait a minute, and he asks what's wrong. She says it's nothing and that she's fine, but she isn't. Our protagonist thinks to himself that she seems like the type to hold on to a romantic dream rather than a one-night stand with a man whose name she doesn't even know. He asks her name, and she questions if it's important. He observes that she's not used to this and asks if she wants him to stop. She thinks this is her chance to escape, but his kisses and touches are so thrilling that she doesn't want to stop him. He says he can't stop now, and if this is her first time, he simply wants to make her feel good. The next day, he cuddles her as he sleeps. Our female lead looks at him and thinks she must be crazy. She has definitely lost her mind, inviting this perfect man to her room. It's her first time waking up next to someone. She recalls the night and feels her body still hot from their encounter. When she didn't tell him her name yesterday, it was an unspoken promise to make this a one-time thing. She puts on her clothes and thanks him for staying with her during the lonely night. Our guy slowly opens his eyes, looking a bit disoriented, and smiles at her. As they exchange introductions, Yooyoung thinks about how her one-night deed has come back to haunt her. She's mortified that her one-night stand has turned out to be her blind date. Jihoon seems to sense her unease and teases her about their previous encounter. Yooyoung wonders what's wrong with her, having a one-night stand in the same hotel where she's supposed to meet her blind date. And to make matters worse, the man from last night is her date. If her mother finds out, she'll be furious. Her mother never warned her about his hot lips, strong hands, and piercing eyes. She can't even look at him. She asks if they can pretend last night never happened. Jihoon tells her he can't pretend it never happened, but he can keep it a secret on one condition. She wonders what condition he could possibly have, since he already has plenty of money, and it's not like this is their first encounter. She asks him what he wants, and he says he's not sure yet and needs to think about it. He adds that no woman has ever run away from him before. Jihoon seems amused by the situation, and Yooyoung can't help but feel embarrassed. She recalls her mother's words, making her relationship with Jihoon very clear. Jihoon gets to choose, and she has to be chosen. Our female lead apologizes, and our guy assures her there's no need to. He's intrigued by their situation and suggests they finish what they started. As they dine together, Jihoon brings up her job as a lawyer for Yunwoo Fashion, and Yooyoung confirms this, thinking to herself that it's pointless since someone like him wouldn't marry a woman with her past. She hopes her mother never finds out. Jihoon notices Yooyoung looks unwell and attributes it to the previous night's events. He offers to take her home, and she's hesitant, but he insists, holding the door open for her. As they drive, the mood is a bit awkward. Yooyoung wonders how she ended up in his car. Jihoon tries to break the silence, asking if she still runs, mentioning he heard she did track and field in high school. Our protagonist realizes she doesn't know much about him, but responds that she doesn't run anymore. Jihoon inquires about her best time, and she shares it was 400 meters in 57 seconds. Yooyoung thinks about how that time is 4 seconds behind the top athlete in the country, a gap that kept her from winning medals. She downplays her record, but Jihoon looks impressed, calling it amazing and a pity she stopped running. As they continue their conversation, they shift to discussing their hobbies, trying to ease the awkwardness. Jihoon expresses his hope to see Yooyoung running on the field again someday. Yooyoung reveals she hasn't run in a long time, citing her busy schedule, and thinks running would be boring now. Jihoon asks if she finds watching others run boring, and Yooyoung admits she enjoys it. Jihoon teases her, saying she'd probably like running just as much. Yooyoung notices the familiar scent again, the same one from last night in the cafe, and wonders why it now makes her feel warm and comfortable. When they arrive at her home, Yooyoung thanks Jihoon for bringing her back. She asks if he could please forget about what happened last night. Inside, she wonders if things would be different if last night had never happened. However, she knows that this man would still be out of her league regardless. She tells him to take care and drive safely. As she watches him leave, she thinks to herself that she probably won't see him again unless they happen to run into each other by chance. As Yooyoung is about to close the car door, Jihoon grabs her hand and says he's just thought of the condition for keeping last night a secret. He says that if she wants him to forget about it, they should get married. Jihoon tells her he wants to marry her. Yooyoung is taken aback, unsure of how to react to his sudden proposal. Yooyoung's eyes widen in shock as Jihoon drops the marriage bombshell. She's certain she heard him correctly, but his intentions are a mystery. She asks him to explain why he wants to tie the knot, and Jihoon responds with a question of his own, asking if she doesn't want to marry him. Yooyoung is perplexed, emphasizing that they've just met. Jihoon suggests they take time to get to know each other better. Yooyoung points out their vastly different backgrounds, but Jihoon counters with the old adage that opposites attract. Yooyoung insists she's not interested in marrying him. Inside, Yooyoung wonders if Jihoon would understand if she just says she's rejecting him. She feels a bit overwhelmed by his perfect appearance, which is making her stomach churn. Jihoon explains that he is an entrepreneur and that having good judgment is essential for running a successful business. He seems to be implying that marrying him would be a wise decision. Yooyoung is still trying to process Jihoon's proposal, unsure of how to react. She's torn between being flattered and feeling like she's in way over her head. Our male lead shares that he's been on 50 blind dates and found every single one uninteresting, quickly ending the dates due to boredom. He admits he has zero tolerance for anything dull. Jihoon looks at our female lead and confesses that he finds her fascinating. He recounts how her bold invitation to her room caught his attention, and her sudden disappearance this morning only piqued his interest. Even her innocent look at the cafe made him curious. He reveals that, despite their brief encounter, he wants to spend more time with her. Our female lead avoids eye contact, seeming unsure and lacking confidence. Despite this, her eyes are clear and determined as she firmly rejects his proposal. Jihoon, despite not knowing her well, feels like he's got a sense of who she is. He leans in and softly kisses her. Our female lead thinks to herself that his close presence feels like a challenge, like he's saying she should run away if she wants, and he'll come after her. Their lips touch lightly, and she feels like she's been hit by a jolt of electricity, unable to move. She's frozen, unsure of how to react to his sudden kiss. Jihoon pulls back and says he'll head home now, telling Yooyoung to take some time to rest and really think about whether her answer is truly what she wants. As Jihoon speeds away in his car, Yooyoung stands there stunned and thinking to herself about what just happened. She can't believe she allowed everything to unfold right in front of her house. She feels a rush of panic, worrying that someone might have seen them. Her heart races as she hears her mother's angry voice calling her name. Yooyoung hopes her mother didn't see too much, or at least that she only saw Jihoon leaving. Her mother, clearly furious, demands to know who the man was and why he thought it was okay to be so physically intimate with her right outside their home. Yooyoung, feeling embarrassed and anxious, says she should come inside so no one else sees her in this situation. Once they are inside the house, the maid tells Yooyoung's mother that she went grocery shopping and mentions that she could have sent the maid to do it instead. This sets Yooyoung's mother off even more. She shouts at the maid to leave and angrily drops the grocery bags on the floor. She tells the maid she should know how to read the room and orders her to clean up the mess she made. Yooyoung, standing off to the side, thinks to herself how unbelievable it is that her mother threw all the groceries meant for her father's dinner. She hasn't seen her mother this angry in a long time, and it's clear that the situation is only getting worse. Inside her room, Yooyoung's mother looks at her and says she thought Yooyoung was going on a blind date today. She even arranged a hotel room for Yooyoung to rest before the meeting. But instead, Yooyoung ended up with another man. Yooyoung tries to explain what happened, but her mother cuts her off, angry and upset. She asks how Yooyoung could be so reckless. Her mother pushes Yooyoung against the wall and tells her that if she wants to be of any use to the family, she needs to marry someone from a prominent family. This man should be able to help with her father's business, not some stranger she meets inappropriately in front of their house. She scolds Yooyoung for behaving so indecently in public, where anyone could have seen her. Her mother's face is full of rage as she raises her hand, ready to slap Yooyoung. Her mother manages to stop herself from slapping Yooyoung, though she clearly wants to. Instead, she demands to know who the man was and what happened to her blind date. Yooyoung explains that the date went well and that the man was Cha Jihoon, the CEO of MGH Hotel. Her mother looks at her with disbelief and says she's not sure if she should believe her. Yooyoung insists that it's true and says that even if her mother doesn't believe her, there's nothing she can do about it. Her mother sits down, still upset, and says she'll find out soon enough if Yooyoung is really telling the truth. The next morning, Yooyoung comes downstairs to greet her mother. Her mother frowns when she sees her and asks if she's feeling sick because she notices Yooyoung coughing. Yooyoung replies that she's fine and not actually sick. Her mother, however, tells the maid to make some balloon flower tea for Yooyoung, insisting that she needs it. Her mother scolds Yooyoung, saying she can't even take care of herself properly. She also informs Yooyoung that they will have a guest at their house today and asks if Yooyoung will be home all day. Yooyoung says yes and then asks if she should leave the house. Her mother says no, she should stay at home, dress nicely, and try to look better. She tells Yooyoung not to appear pale or sick in front of their guest. Her mother expresses frustration, saying that Yooyoung never seems to do anything right. As Yooyoung is getting dressed, she remembers her mother saying that her father hasn't arrived yet. She wonders if the guest has arrived early and why her mother is making such a fuss over them. Just then, she sees Jihoon standing there. He asks her how she has been, and Yooyoung asks him why he's here. Jihoon replies that he missed her and also mentions that her mother contacted him. Her mother then joins them and tells Jihoon that he's an amazing person from a very respected family, so she just had to meet him. She admits that it was a bit rude of her to invite him like this, but she couldn't help herself. Laughing, she says she wanted to use this opportunity to see him when he came to pick up her daughter. Inwardly, she thinks about how her husband's company is about to sign a long-term contract with MGH. She hopes that if they get married, Jihoon's family might help with their business. She tells Yooyoung to hurry up and give Jihoon a positive answer, encouraging her to speak up and say something he will like. Yooyoung is surprised to see Jihoon and says she knew a guest was coming, but she didn't expect it to be him. She tells him to please make himself at home. Her mother chimes in, saying that Jihoon offered to take Yooyoung to a nice place, probably an amazing restaurant. Jihoon confirms this, but adds that he thought of a better place on his way here. He asks if Yooyoung would like to join him, and she agrees. As they walk outside, Yooyoung apologizes for the earlier situation. She explains that she didn't know her mother would suddenly invite him over and that she had no idea he would be here. Jihoon smiles, seeming to enjoy the situation, and tells Yooyoung not to worry about it. Her mother watches them leave, a satisfied smile on her face. She's clearly pleased with the way things are going. As they walk to Jihoon's car, Yooyoung can't help but wonder what her mother is thinking. She knows her mother is always trying to manipulate situations to her advantage. Jihoon opens the car door for Yooyoung, and she gets in. As they drive away, Yooyoung looks back at her house. Feeling a bit uneasy, she's not sure what her mother is planning, but she's determined to stay one step ahead. Jihoon notices Yooyoung's concerned expression and asks her if everything is okay. Yooyoung forces a smile and says she's fine, just a bit tired. Jihoon nods understandingly and reaches out to gently brush a strand of hair out of her face. The touch sends shivers down Yooyoung's spine, and she feels her heart skip a beat. She's not sure what's happening, but she can't deny the sparks flying between them. Jihoon reassures Yooyoung that he wasn't expecting an apology, and he's actually grateful to her mother for bringing them together sooner. Yooyoung feels uneasy about the uncertainty surrounding their situation, preferring clear-cut answers and straightforward interactions. However, Jihoon's unpredictable nature makes her feel like she's navigating uncharted territory. Jihoon notices her discomfort and encourages her to speak her mind, suggesting that openness is better than bottling up her thoughts. Yooyoung confesses that she feels powerless, unable to refuse or argue with others, and that she's forced to follow instructions. Jihoon playfully points out that she hasn't always listened to him, citing her rejections of his marriage proposals as examples. He suggests that, in their relationship, she actually holds more power than she thinks. Yooyoung disagrees, feeling that their situation is unique, but Jihoon counters that they've already shared experiences similar to those of other couples. He reminds her that they've been on a date, shared a kiss, and spent the night together, doing things that ordinary couples do. Yooyoung becomes flustered, asking Jihoon not to bring up their past encounter. Jihoon teasingly agrees, pretending to have forgotten about it. As they drive, Yooyoung asks Jihoon about their destination, and he reveals that he has a surprise in store. He notices her tension and jokes that the more she pulls away, the more he wants to stay close to her. Yooyoung can't help but feel a flutter in her chest at his words. She's unsure of what to make of Jihoon's behavior, but she can't deny the sparks flying between them. Jihoon continues to chat with her, trying to put her at ease, but Yooyoung's mind is racing with thoughts of what might happen next. She's not sure if she's ready for whatever Jihoon has planned, but she's willing to find out. As they drive, the tension between them is palpable, but it's no longer just about uncertainty. It's also about anticipation. As they stroll through the campus, Jihoon asks Yooyoung if she thought he'd make a public scene. Yooyoung reminds him of their previous encounter, where he kissed her in front of her house. Jihoon playfully jokes about living up to her expectations next time. Yooyoung assures him that she never anticipated anything like that. They arrive at Hankook University, and Jihoon reveals that they both attended the same alma mater. Although they were in different majors and he started college earlier, Jihoon finds it intriguing that they never met during their school days. Yooyoung explains that she didn't socialize much back then, which might explain why their paths never crossed. She asks if he majored in economics, and Jihoon wonders if the matchmaker spilled the beans. Yooyoung shakes her head, recalling how her classmates would talk about a handsome upperclassman in the economics department. They called him the economics major Appa due to his good looks and chaebol background. Jihoon smiles, seemingly amused by the memory. Yooyoung thinks to herself that Jihoon's confidence is no surprise, given his stunning looks. Everyone appears to adore him, leaving her feeling a tad envious. As they walk, Yooyoung notices people staring at Jihoon and realizes that she wouldn't have forgotten him if she'd seen him at school. She feels a pang of curiosity, wondering what he was like back in his college days. They finally arrive at their destination, and Yooyoung asks what they're doing there. Jihoon explains that he has a friend who was on the track and field team, and they're visiting the gym. Yooyoung mentions that she's never been to this gym before, only visiting the library during her school days. As they enter the gym, Yooyoung reflects on her past, when she was actively involved in track and field. However, as she grew older, her life became consumed by studying and work, leaving little time for hobbies. Jihoon glances at her, curious about her life and what she does now. He seems to be enjoying the opportunity to learn more about her. As they walk through the gym, Yooyoung notices the familiar sights and sounds of the track and field equipment. She feels a rush of nostalgia, remembering the thrill of competition and the sense of accomplishment that came with it. Jihoon notices her gaze and asks if she used to run track. Yooyoung nods, and Jihoon smiles, seeming to approve of her athletic background. Jihoon is eager to learn more about Yooyoung, and as they watch the runners together, she feels a wave of nostalgia wash over her. She hasn't seen anyone run like this in a long time, and it brings back memories. Jihoon mentions that he spoke with the gym staff, and they offered Yooyoung the opportunity to come and run whenever she wants. He looks down at her heels and realizes he didn't think about her footwear when suggesting they come to the gym. Jihoon offers to get her a pair of sneakers, but Yooyoung declines, insisting she's not planning to run. Jihoon thinks to himself that she looks like she might start running at any moment, despite her protests. He decides to grab some coffee for them, and when he returns, they start chatting about one of the runners, Hyuk. As they converse, Yooyoung asks Jihoon if she's boring him with the conversation. She feels a bit sorry for getting carried away, but but Jihoon assures her that it's not boring at all. He's actually enjoying their conversation, finding it interesting and unique. He admits that even though this isn't the most romantic topic, he's having a great time talking to her. Yooyoung smiles, feeling relieved that Jihoon is enjoying their conversation. Meanwhile, at Jihoon's parents' house, his mom is upset and complaining about Subwoo Fashion's audacity in ordering Jihoon to visit their house. She thinks it's ridiculous that they're trying to control Jihoon's actions. The day before, Jihoon's mom was already fuming about the situation. She was loudly expressing her discontent about how Sunwoo Fashion was telling Jihoon to go visit a girl's house. Jihoon sees that she's upset and asks what's wrong. His mom explains that the matchmaker called with news that the girl's mom wants to meet him. She's annoyed because they haven't even discussed marriage yet. Jihoon's mom goes on to rant about how the girl's family isn't very influential and seems rude to her. As his mom continues talking, Jihoon starts thinking about Yooyoung and how she told him she doesn't want to get married. His mom wonders why he's being set up with someone like Yooyoung, clearly unimpressed. Jihoon surprises his mom by saying that he actually thinks Yooyoung is pretty. This catches his mom off guard, and she's taken aback by his comment. She didn't expect Jihoon to defend Yooyoung like that. Jihoon's mom starts to wonder if Jihoon is actually interested in Yooyoung, despite her family's lack of influence. She's not sure what to make of the situation, but she's determined to learn more about Yooyoung and her family. Jihoon's mom is a bit concerned that her son might be getting too serious about Yooyoung, but at the same time, she's curious about what makes Yooyoung special. She decides to do some digging and find out more about Yooyoung's background. As Jihoon and Yooyoung continue their conversation, they start to open up to each other more. Jihoon learns that Yooyoung has a passion for running, but she hasn't had the time to pursue it lately. Yooyoung, on the other hand, learns that Jihoon has a sense of humor and can be quite charming when he wants to be. As they talk, they start to realize that they have more in common than they thought. They both value honesty and hard work, and they both have a desire to make a positive impact on the world. As the day goes on, Jihoon and Yooyoung find themselves feeling more and more comfortable around each other. They start to laugh and joke together, and their conversation flows easily. Jihoon's mom would be surprised to see how well her son is getting along with Yooyoung. Despite their differences, they're finding common ground and enjoying each other's company. As the sun starts to set, Jihoon walks Yooyoung home, feeling more and more drawn to her. He's not sure what the future holds, but he's excited to find out. Jihoon decides to accept the invitation to visit Yooyoung's house and asks his mom if he should bring a gift. After discussing it, he says goodnight to his mom and leaves. His mom is left stunned and astonished by his decision. In the present, Jihoon and Yooyoung are sitting in the back of the car, and he's lost in thought. He's reflecting on what his mom said about Yooyoung's family. He realizes his mom was right about Yooyoung's mother, who seems to be looking at her daughter with cold eyes. Jihoon starts to understand why Yooyoung seems so timid. When they arrive at Yooyoung's house, Jihoon stops the car. Yooyoung thanks him, saying she had a great time. Jihoon replies that the pleasure was all his. Yooyoung then tells him that now that their time together is over, she hopes he won't come back. She explains that she had no idea he was her blind date, which is why she did something so foolish the night before. Jihoon looks at her and says that he's just as guilty as she is, since he was the one she spent the night with. He insists that they had a good time together and tells her not to downplay it. Yooyoung replies that it's true they had a good time, but that's not the reason she's rejecting him. Jihoon asks if she dislikes him, and Yooyoung thinks about it. She realizes she doesn't dislike him, but she finds it hard to be around him. Jihoon asks if other men are easier to be with, raising an eyebrow in curiosity. Yooyoung looks away, trying to avoid his gaze. Jihoon's expression softens, and he reaches out to gently touch her hand. Yooyoung feels a spark of electricity at his touch, and she's not sure how to react. Jihoon's eyes lock onto hers, and he asks her again if she's sure she wants him to leave. Yooyoung's heart skips a beat as she hesitates, unsure of what to say next. Yooyoung is deep in thought, analyzing Jihoon's behavior. She finds him intriguing, as he has the power to uplift her and bring her down just as quickly. She nods in response to his question, and Jihoon smirks, clearly amused by her complexity. He's never met a woman like her before, and he's drawn to the challenge. Despite his charming exterior, Jihoon is genuinely interested in Yooyoung and wants her to like him. Yooyoung observes that Jihoon seems to handle rejection with ease, but maybe it's not as effortless as it appears. Jihoon tells her that he likes her a lot, and his words make her feel lightheaded. He's captivated by her unique behavior, from the way she plays hard to get to her nervous habits. Jihoon reaches out to kiss her, and Yooyoung is torn between pushing him away and giving in to the moment. His words have left her feeling dizzy, and she's not sure how to react. They share a romantic kiss, and then Jihoon pulls away, smiling. He calls out her name and suggests that they do something more exciting next time. Jihoon's charming smile and playful demeanor have won Yooyoung over, and she can't help but feel drawn to him. As they part ways, Yooyoung can't help but wonder what the future holds for them. Will Jihoon's charming nature be enough to win her heart, or will their differences tear them apart? Jihoon gazes at her with a gentle expression, his eyes sparkling with anticipation as he looks forward to their next encounter. She steps into her house, feeling a wave of relief wash over her as she slips off her shoes. Her mom, who seems to have been waiting anxiously, greets her with an uncharacteristically warm smile, her eyes shining with curiosity. Yooyoung is taken aback by her mom's unusual sweetness, wondering if she's been eagerly awaiting her return. Her mom's face lights up with excitement as she bombards Yooyoung with questions about the date, her eyes sparkling with amusement. Yooyoung's thoughts drift back to the car ride with him, where he confessed his liking for her. A soft smile spreads across her face as she recalls the tender moment. She pauses for a moment, collecting her thoughts before sharing her impressions with her mom. Her mom's face radiates joy, her eyes twinkling with delight, as she interprets Jihoon's actions as a clear sign of interest. She teases Yooyoung good-naturedly about the kiss they shared, chuckling at the memory. Yooyoung nods, feeling a mix of excitement and uncertainty about what the future holds. As they chat, the soft evening light streams through the windows, casting a warm and cozy glow over the scene. The atmosphere is filled with laughter and anticipation, a sense of possibility hanging in the air. Yooyoung notices her mom is being unusually kind and gentle, treating her like her younger sister Hayoung. But Yooyoung knows it's only because her mom wants her to marry Jihoon. Yooyoung wants to tell her mom something important, but feels nervous. She doesn't want to ruin the good mood, but she knows her mom will find out eventually. If she doesn't tell her now, things might get worse later. Yooyoung takes a deep breath and tells her mom she's not going to marry Jihoon. Her mom's smile quickly fades, and she looks unhappy. Her mom is shocked, wondering what's wrong with Jihoon. Yooyoung explains that Jihoon seems too perfect, and she can't understand why he'd be interested in her. She wants to marry an ordinary man, not someone as charming and successful as Jihoon. Her mom interrupts, asking what's wrong with wanting a great catch like Jihoon. Yooyoung insists that she's not interested in marrying someone who's out of her league. Her mom's expression turns stern, reminding Yooyoung about the important contract her father's company needs to sign with MGH. Yooyoung calmly explains that her father's company is strong enough to survive without the contract. She's willing to go on another blind date to find someone more suitable. Her mom looks disappointed, unsure of what to make of Yooyoung's decision. She asks if Yooyoung is really going to turn down Jihoon, emphasizing the potential benefits of marrying him. Yooyoung reiterates that she's made up her mind, and her mom's persistence isn't going to change her decision. Her mom's face falls, and she looks at Yooyoung with a mix of disappointment and concern. She can't understand why Yooyoung would pass up an opportunity like this. Yooyoung tries to reassure her mom that everything will work out, but her mom is unconvinced. The tension between them is palpable, and it's clear that this conversation is far from over. Yooyoung recalls Jihoon's words from their car conversation, realizing she's been worried about what he thinks of her. She looks at her mother and expresses her doubts about their compatibility. Her mother insists that she must marry Jihoon, prioritizing their business deal over Yooyoung's feelings. Her mother's words are laced with a sense of urgency, emphasizing the importance of securing the deal. Yooyoung feels a pang of frustration, knowing her mother isn't considering her happiness. Just then, Hayoung walks in, asking what's going on. Their mother explains the situation, and Hayoung is surprised to hear about Yooyoung's blind date. Hayoung's eyes widen with interest, and she asks for more details. Her mother fills her in, expressing her disappointment in Yooyoung's decision. Hayoung reassures her mother, saying she knows how Yooyoung can be. Feeling tired, Hayoung mentions she wants to eat and go to bed. Her mother asks if she's been working hard and teases her about carrying heavy bags. She takes the bags from Hayoung and calls the housekeeper to prepare something warm. As they walk away together, Hayoung's arrival seems to have temporarily diffused the tension between Yooyoung and their mother. The atmosphere in the room begins to relax, and Yooyoung feels a sense of relief wash over her. However, she knows the conversation with her mother is far from over. Yooyoung watches her mother and Hayoung, feeling a pang of sadness. She can't help but think she doesn't quite fit in with her family. Her mind starts to wander, imagining what life would be like if she married Jihoon. She quickly shakes off the thought, unsure of what the future holds. Just then, her phone rings, breaking the silence. Her mother and Hayoung glance at her curiously. Yooyoung picks up the phone, surprised to see Jihoon's name on the screen. He asks if she's gotten home safely, and Yooyoung wonders why he's checking up on her since he dropped her off himself. She's torn between her doubts and the possibility of a better life with Jihoon. Yooyoung thinks about how her mother's behavior towards her might change if she marries Jihoon. She considers whether leaning into Jihoon's kindness could help her win her mother's love and approval. Weighing her options, Yooyoung decides that if Jihoon's kindness can bring her some benefits, it might be worth exploring. She takes a deep breath and asks Jihoon if he still wants to marry her. Jihoon is taken aback by her question, hardly believing what he's hearing. Yooyoung tells him she's willing to accept his proposal. Jihoon's face lights up with a wide grin as he says, "Perfect." Yooyoung thanks him, but Jihoon responds that he should be the one thanking her. He explains that they'll move forward with the wedding plans and that his family will contact her family soon to discuss the details. Jihoon's excitement is palpable, and he can't wait to start making arrangements. The next day, Jihoon sits in his office, reflecting on the phone call with Yooyoung. He remembers how nervous she sounded, her voice shaking slightly. He's surprised by her sudden change of heart, wondering what prompted her to accept his proposal. Jihoon thinks it might have been an impulsive decision, possibly driven by family pressures. He's intrigued by Yooyoung's complexity, finding her tougher than he initially thought. Whatever her reasons, Jihoon is determined not to let this opportunity slip away. He's eager to get to know Yooyoung better and make their relationship work. Jihoon's assistant walks in, interrupting his thoughts, and asks if he's available to meet with some clients. Jihoon nods, refocusing on his work, but his mind keeps drifting back to Yooyoung and their upcoming wedding. Mr. Lee is in the office with Jihoon, discussing the company's situation. Jihoon, still smiling, shares some personal news. He announces that he's getting married soon, and Mr. Lee looks relieved, but also surprised. Jihoon explains that he's planning to marry the woman he went on a blind date with, and Mr. Lee is taken aback. He recalls Jihoon's past blind dates, which never seemed to lead to anything serious. Mr. Lee asks if the woman Jihoon is planning to marry is the daughter of the CEO of Samwoo Construction, but Jihoon shakes his head. He says it's actually the daughter of the CEO of Sunwoo Fashion, whom he met the following week. Mr. Lee thinks for a moment and then says he knows her. He remembers that she used to date Yan Jae-woo from YP Industries. Mr. Lee goes on to explain that Jae-woo is the oldest son of YP Industries' CEO and is known for his wild lifestyle. Jihoon raises an eyebrow, intrigued by this new information. Mr. Lee says Jae-woo is famous for frequenting clubs and throwing crazy parties in hotel rooms. Jihoon can't believe that Yooyoung dated someone like that. He feels there must be some mistake. Mr. Lee insists it's true because Jae-woo himself mentioned that his ex was the daughter of the Sunwoo Fashion CEO. Jihoon still refuses to believe it. He remembers that night with Yooyoung, how she was so nervous and her body tensed up easily. She didn't seem like someone who was experienced with men. Mr. Lee continues, saying Jae-woo mentioned that Yooyoung was fun to date, but he wasn't sure about her because she had a complicated dating history. Jihoon's expression turns skeptical, and he tells Mr. Lee that Yooyoung can't be the person Jae-woo was talking about. He's convinced that Yooyoung isn't the type with a bad dating history. Jihoon recalls how terrified Yooyoung was after their one-night stand, and he's sure she's not the person Jae-woo described. Jihoon's mind is racing with questions, and he's determined to get to the bottom of this. He wonders if Mr. Lee might have misunderstood something, or if Jae-woo was just trying to brag about his conquests. Jihoon's thoughts are interrupted by Mr. Lee, who asks if he's okay. Jihoon nods, trying to compose himself, but his mind is still reeling with doubts and questions. Mr. Lee, still trying to convince Jihoon, asks if Yooyoung is the design manager at Sunwoo Fashion. Jihoon realizes Mr. Lee must be confusing her with someone else and corrects him, saying Yooyoung is actually a lawyer. Mr. Lee is surprised and wonders if the Sunwoo Fashion CEO has another daughter. Jihoon confirms that he does, and this clears up Mr. Lee's mistake. Jihoon starts tapping his desk, thinking that if Jae-woo knows Yooyoung's sister, then he probably knows their family. He tells Mr. Lee to call Jae-woo for him, saying he wants to find out more about this situation. Mr. Lee asks Jihoon what kind of woman he's about to marry. Jihoon thinks about it but decides not to share any details. He tells Mr. Lee to go ahead and call Jae-woo. Jihoon's mind is still racing with questions, and he's determined to get to the bottom of this. He wonders what Jae-woo's connection is to Yooyoung's family and what this means for his upcoming marriage. Jihoon's thoughts are interrupted by Mr. Lee, who asks if he should call Jae-woo right away. Jihoon nods, and Mr. Lee quickly dials the number. Jihoon waits anxiously, wondering what Jae-woo will reveal about Yooyoung's family. Meanwhile, at Sunwoo Fashion's legal department, Yooyoung is in her office with another woman. She's lost in thought, wondering why she proposed to Jihoon, especially with her mother present. The other woman interrupts her, asking for help with a task. Yooyoung usually finds it hard because she's the only lawyer in the department, but today, she's actually glad to have a lot of work to keep her mind off Jihoon and their upcoming marriage. It's past noon, and Miss Hong suggests they go out for lunch together. Yooyoung is about to agree when she gets a message on her phone. It's from Jihoon. Yooyoung apologizes to Miss Hong, saying she can't join her for lunch because she has something to take care of. Miss Hong leaves, reminding her not to forget to eat. Yooyoung looks at her phone, wondering what Jihoon wants. She feels a mix of emotions, unsure of what to expect from their conversation. She thinks about their previous encounters and how Jihoon has been kind and understanding. Yooyoung decides to call him back, curious about what he has to say. She takes a deep breath, preparing herself for the conversation ahead. Yooyoung picks up her phone carefully, feeling a mix of emotions. She's confused about why she feels excited every time Jihoon contacts her, even though she wants to keep him at a distance. She sees his message that says, "I miss you, Yooyoung," and she's surprised. As she thinks about Jihoon, she has mixed feelings. Another message comes in, asking when she'll be free. Yooyoung wants to meet him, but she's also trying to sort out her feelings. She worries that if they meet, he might ask why she suddenly agreed to marry him. She holds her phone, unsure of what to say. She can't tell him that she agreed out of frustration from seeing how close her mother and sister are. So she replies that she's busy this week because she has a lot of work. Yooyoung tells herself it shouldn't matter what Jihoon thinks about her, but she can't help feeling nervous. She apologizes again, saying she'll call him when she's free. She drops her phone and remembers his message about missing her. She slaps herself lightly, trying to get a grip on her emotions. She's torn between her attraction to Jihoon and her desire to keep her distance. Yooyoung tries to focus on her work, but her mind keeps drifting back to Jihoon. She wonders what he's doing right now and whether he's thinking about her too. Meanwhile, in Jihoon's office, he finally gets through to Jae-woo. Jihoon asks where Jae-woo is, and Jae-woo replies that he's out of town looking at a yacht he's been wanting for a while. Jihoon is surprised because he heard that YP Industries isn't doing well financially, but hears Jaewoo buying a yacht. Jaewoo then asks why Jihoon is calling, and Jihoon says he called because he wants to ask him something. Jihoon tells Jaewoo that he heard he dated the oldest daughter of Sunwoo Fashion and wants to know more about their family. Jaewoo confirms that he did date her and asks if Jihoon is seeing her now. Jihoon explains that he is actually seeing her younger sister, wondering why Jaewoo hasn't heard about the upcoming marriage. Jaewoo is surprised to hear that Yooyoung has a younger sister and wonders if they're not close. He tells Jihoon that he wouldn't get involved with the Kim family. He dated Yooyoung because she was beautiful, but he found her to be arrogant and with a bad dating history. Jihoon listens intently, trying to piece together the information. He's not sure what to make of Jaewoo's warning, but he's determined to learn more about Yooyoung and her family. Jihoon thanks Jaewoo for his honesty and hangs up the phone. He's left with more questions than answers, wondering what secrets Yooyoung's family might be hiding. Jaewoo shares his thoughts on Yooyoung, saying she's different from Yooyoung. He mentions that Yooyoung's mother is annoying because she favors Yooyoung so much. Jaewoo advises Jihoon to reconsider marrying into the Kim family, citing their supposed low social standing. Jihoon finds Jaewoo's comments rude and tactless. Jaewoo abruptly ends the call, saying the auction is about to start. Jihoon is left feeling unimpressed by Jaewoo's unhelpful insights, which only seem to focus on Yooyoung's sister. There's a knock on the door, and Mr. Lee walks in, asking if he should send the driver to wait for Jihoon out front. Jihoon tells him he'll drive himself and asks Mr. Lee to send the driver home instead. Mr. Lee notices Jihoon's cheerful demeanor and asks where he's off to, making him smile so much. Jihoon playfully replies that he has a fun task to take care of, leaving Mr. Lee curious. Jihoon heads out of the office, feeling a sense of excitement and anticipation. He can't help but think about Yooyoung and their upcoming marriage. Despite Jaewoo's negative comments, Jihoon is determined to make his relationship with Yooyoung work. As he drives, Jihoon's mind wanders back to their previous encounters, and he can't help but smile. After work, Yooyoung steps outside and is surprised to see Jihoon standing next to his car, waiting for her. She looks adorable in her confusion, and Jihoon can't help but smile. He opens the car door for her, and they drive off into the evening traffic. As they cruise along, Jihoon asks if it was rude of him to show up without warning. Yooyoung says no, but she starts to say more and then stops, looking shy. Jihoon glances at her, thinking about how different she is from her sister. Her blushing and struggling to find words remind him of a shy bunny. He thinks she'd be even cuter if she were a bit more confident, but honestly, she's already really cute. Jihoon smiles and tells Yooyoung that he missed her. She reminds him that he already said that in his text and adds that if she weren't so shy, many men would have tried to win her heart. Jihoon chuckles, feeling happy to be the one she's with. He mentions that he heard she has a sister, and Yooyoung says yes. Jihoon says his friend knows her, and Yooyoung asks if he knows Han Jaewoo from YP Industries. Jihoon explains that Jaewoo said he met her mother, so he thought Jaewoo was serious. Yooyoung replies that she doesn't know much about her sister's past relationships because they aren't close. Jihoon wonders if Jaewoo didn't meet Yooyoung because of this. Jaewoo had said that her mother spoils her sister, but Yooyoung seems so afraid of her family. Yooyoung speaks up, saying she feels like a nuisance to her family. She apologizes and says she should have mentioned this before they decided to get married. Jihoon tells her it's okay, but he's surprised her family would see her as a nuisance, especially since she studied law at Hankook University and passed the bar exams. Yooyoung starts to stammer, saying that she did something unforgivable, which is why her mother dislikes her and why she isn't on good terms with her family. Jihoon is surprised and stops the car. He doesn't know all the details, but he knows Yooyoung isn't the type of person to do something terrible. Even though he's curious about what she did, he feels it's not right to press her about it. Jihoon looks at Yooyoung, seeing the worry in her eyes. He takes her hand, trying to reassure her that everything will be okay. He thinks about how much he wants to help her and make her feel better. Jihoon starts the car again, and they continue driving in silence. Yooyoung looks out the window, feeling a mix of emotions. She's grateful for Jihoon's kindness, but she's also scared of what he might think of her once he finds out the truth. As they approach Yooyoung's apartment, Jihoon asks if she wants him to walk her up. Yooyoung says no, thanking him for the ride. Jihoon smiles and says he'll call her tomorrow. He watches as she gets out of the car and walks away, feeling a sense of responsibility to help her through her struggles. Yooyoung is trembling as she shares her feelings with Jihoon. She feels vulnerable. But Jihoon's kindness puts her at ease. He holds her hand, noticing it's cold, and suggests they stay like this for a while. Yooyoung stops shaking, and Jihoon asks if she's not hungry. He invites her to join him for dinner, and they head to a nearby restaurant. As they sit down to eat, Yooyoung wonders why she shared so much with Jihoon earlier. She hasn't told anyone about her family in 10 years, but Jihoon's kindness made her feel unexpectedly warm. She glances at him, thinking he's a bit strange but very kind. She's becoming curious about him and wants to get to know him better. Jihoon notices Yooyoung looking at him and smiles. He's happy to see her feeling more at ease around him. Yooyoung asks Jihoon what he likes, mentioning that she's never asked him before. Jihoon thinks for a moment, not sure how to answer. She tells him not to say that he likes cooking, foreign languages, or ballet. He laughs and says that those are common hobbies for his blind dates, and he found it interesting that she does mid-distance track and field. He thought it felt genuine and it left an impression on him. Yooyoung says that now she's curious about his hobbies. Jihoon wipes his mouth and starts to apologize. He says it was wrong to call things like cooking and ballet boring and that he shouldn't judge other people's hobbies. He admits that he can be pretentious and it might make him seem unattractive. Yooyoung is really curious about what Jihoon's hobby might be. Jihoon says he'll tell her if she promises not to laugh. She agrees, but he still hesitates. She starts to wonder if it's something like horseback riding or cooking. Then he finally reveals that he likes surfing. Yooyoung calls it a water sport and says it's not funny at all. It's actually an amazing hobby. Jihoon looks relieved that she's not laughing at him. He's happy to share his passion with her, and he's excited to see if she'll want to try it with him. As they continue eating, Yooyoung asks Jihoon more questions about surfing. He's happy to share his knowledge with her, and he's enjoying their conversation. They're getting to know each other better, and Jihoon is feeling more and more comfortable around Yooyoung. He's starting to think that maybe, just maybe, he's found someone special. Jihoon leans in, interested in hearing more about Yooyoung's thoughts on surfing. She's smiling, and her eyes are sparkling with curiosity. Jihoon feels his heart skip a beat as he realizes how much he's enjoying her company. He's excited to see where things might go between them. As they finish their meal, Jihoon asks Yooyoung if she'd like to join him for a surfing trip next weekend. Yooyoung looks surprised, but then a smile spreads across her face. She says she'd love to go, and Jihoon grins, feeling happy that she's agreed. He walks her home, feeling more and more comfortable around her. As they stand outside her apartment, Jihoon thanks her for a wonderful evening. Yooyoung smiles, and Jihoon leans in, feeling a spark of attraction between them. Jihoon asks Yooyoung if she thinks he's trying to show off by sharing his surfing hobby. Yooyoung reassures him that she's never met anyone who surfs for fun before, so she doesn't think he's showing off. She's genuinely curious about his hobby and asks if surfing is scary. Jihoon's face lights up as he explains that it's actually thrilling. He loves the unpredictability of the ocean and the challenge of balancing on the waves. Jihoon thanks Yooyoung for being open-minded about his hobby and suggests they try surfing together sometime. Yooyoung's eyes widen as she asks if the nearest beach isn't too far away. Jihoon chuckles and says they can head to the East Sea, making it sound like a quick weekend getaway. Yooyoung can't help but be charmed by Jihoon's enthusiasm. As they continue to chat, she finds herself feeling more and more comfortable around him. She's fascinated by how different they are from each other, and she's starting to enjoy their daily conversations. Since that day, Jihoon has been picking her up every night, and Yooyoung can't help but wonder why he's going out of his way to do so. One day in the car, she asks him if he's not busy these days, and Jihoon admits that he is. He's swamped with work due to the recent renovations at MGH Hotel and the upcoming bidding for the in-house duty-free shop. Yooyoung can't help but feel a little foolish for thinking he wasn't busy. She asks Jihoon why he comes to pick her up every day, and he asks if she doesn't like it. Yooyoung says she's just curious, and Jihoon teases her by asking if she really doesn't know why he visits her office every day. Yooyoung's heart skips a beat as she wonders what she wants to hear from him. Maybe he likes her, but that seems impossible. He's in a better position right now, and she knows it's an arranged marriage, so she feels like she needs to impress him. Jihoon's eyes sparkle with amusement as he waits for Yooyoung's response. He's enjoying their banter, and he's happy to see Yooyoung feeling more at ease around him. Jihoon asks Yooyoung if she thinks he's trying to show off by sharing his surfing hobby. Yooyoung reassures him that she's never met anyone who surfs for fun before, so she doesn't think he's showing off. She's genuinely curious about his hobby and asks if surfing is scary. Jihoon's face lights up as he explains that it's actually thrilling. He loves the unpredictability of the ocean and the challenge of balancing on the waves. Jihoon thanks Yooyoung for being open-minded about his hobby and suggests they try surfing together sometime. Yooyoung's eyes widen as she asks if the nearest beach isn't too far away. Jihoon chuckles and says they can head to the East Sea, making it sound like a quick weekend getaway. Yooyoung can't help but be charmed by Jihoon's enthusiasm. As they continue to chat, she finds herself feeling more and more comfortable around him. She's fascinated by how different they are from each other, and she's starting to enjoy their daily conversations. Since that day, Jihoon has been picking her up every night, and Yooyoung can't help but wonder why he's going out of his way to do so. Yooyoung drops a bombshell on Hyejung, telling her she's getting married. Hyejung's eyes widen in surprise, and she can't help but ask why she's only finding out now. Yooyoung explains that everything happened so fast, she didn't have a chance to mention it. Hyejung's curiosity gets the better of her, and she asks who the lucky guy is. When Yooyoung reveals it's Cha Jihoon from MGH Group, the same guy from her blind date, Hyejung's eyes light up. She quickly pulls out her phone to look him up, and after finding a picture, she shows it to Yooyoung, asking if that's really him. Yooyoung confirms it is, and Hyejung can't help but comment on how handsome he is. However, she's still a bit miffed that she's only finding out about this after Yooyoung had already made up her mind. Yooyoung apologizes, explaining that she's telling Hyejung first, aside from her family. She reveals that this marriage isn't a normal one, but an arranged one, and it's all a bit strange and hard to understand. Hyejung looks confused, wondering what's hard to understand. She reminds Yooyoung that they're friends and have been through thick and thin together, especially during those grueling bar exams. So why wouldn't she understand what Yooyoung is going through now? Yooyoung agrees with Hyejung and wants to explain everything. But Hyejung interrupts her, calling the waitress over to bring more wine. She insists that Yooyoung spill the beans, telling her the whole story from start to finish. Hyejung even jokingly threatens that if Yooyoung hides any details, she won't share anything with her until Yooyoung is married with kids. Yooyoung laughs and teases that she'll only share the juicy details when the kids are in middle school. Hyejung playfully insists that Yooyoung should spill everything now, unless she wants to face that punishment. As they continue to chat and laugh, it's clear that their friendship can withstand anything, even the surprise of a lifetime. Hyejung's expression turns serious, and she asks Yooyoung if she's really okay with this arranged marriage. Yooyoung takes a deep breath, collecting her thoughts before responding. She explains that it's not like she has a choice, and she's trying to make the best of the situation. Hyejung nods understandingly, and the two friends clink their glasses together, ready to face whatever the future holds. Yooyoung is still feeling the aftermath of her hangover 2 days later as she sits at her desk. She's lost in thought, wondering if Jihoon is back from his business trip. Her phone buzzes, snapping her back to reality, and she sees a message from Jihoon asking how she's doing. She's surprised and stands up, her heart racing slightly. Another message arrives and Jihoon offers to pick her up, asking if that's okay with her. Yooyoung replies that she has a lot of work to finish and will be done by 8. She wonders if she should tell Jihoon not to come, considering the late hour, but then remembers they didn't make plans to meet this weekend. If he doesn't come today, she might not see him at all. Just as she's thinking this, another message arrives asking if she's free tomorrow. She replies that she is, and he tells her he'll be there by 8. She can't help but smile, feeling excited to see him in just a few hours. As the clock strikes 8, Yooyoung waits outside, scanning the cars for Jihoon's. All the black cars look alike, and one pulls up in front of her. She gets in, and they exchange greetings. Jihoon comments that it's been a while since they last met, and starts chatting away. But Yooyoung's attention is diverted to the suitcase in the back seat, and she asks him if he's coming from somewhere. He says no, but when she asks about the suitcase, he reaches over and gently touches her face. Her mind goes blank as she's hit with the familiar scent of his cologne. Jihoon then announces that they're heading out now. When Yooyoung asks where they're going, he grins mischievously and says he's kidnapping her. Yooyoung's heart skips a beat as she wonders what Jihoon has planned. She feels a thrill of excitement mixed with a little fear. As they drive away, Yooyoung can't help but laugh at the absurdity of the situation. She's not sure what the night has in store for her, but she's excited to find out. Jihoon's smile is infectious, and she finds herself smiling back at him. The tension between them is palpable, and Yooyoung can't help but feel drawn to Jihoon's charismatic presence. As they speed away into the night, Yooyoung feels a sense of freedom she's never experienced before. Yooyoung's eyes widen in alarm as Jihoon's words hang in the air. She's trying to process what he means by kidnapping her. As Jihoon steps on the gas, Yooyoung's heart starts racing. She asks if they're heading to a restaurant, but Jihoon's response is unexpected. They're going to the East Sea. Yooyoung's surprise is evident, and she asks if he's serious about leaving right now. Jihoon's grin is contagious, but Yooyoung's still unsure. She remembers Jihoon mentioning surfing, and now he's taking her to the East Sea. She didn't think he'd actually follow through. Yooyoung's concerns are practical. She lives with her parents, and they'll worry if she doesn't come back soon. Jihoon reassures her that they'll be fine, but Yooyoung's still hesitant. Jihoon notices her worry and asks if she's afraid of getting into trouble. Yooyoung admits she's scared of her mom's disapproval. Jihoon understands her concerns, but he's determined to make this trip happen. He tells Yooyoung that if he didn't take the initiative, they wouldn't have any time together before they get married. He promises it'll be fun and presses a button, rolling down the car window to let in the breeze. The wind blows through Yooyoung's hair, and she feels a thrill of excitement. She's torn between her duty to her parents and the thrill of this spontaneous adventure. Jihoon's enthusiasm is infectious, and Yooyoung finds herself smiling. She's not sure what the night has in store, but she's excited to find out. As they speed away from the city, Yooyoung feels a sense of freedom she's never experienced before. The East Sea awaits, and Yooyoung's heart is racing with anticipation. Yooyoung's lost in thought as they drive along the coast. She's surprised to find that she's actually happy about this spontaneous adventure. Jihoon's carefree spirit is infectious, and she's enjoying spending time with him. The wind blowing through her hair is exhilarating, and she feels a sense of freedom she's never experienced before. As they arrive at their destination, Yooyoung's eyes widen in amazement. The scenery is breathtaking, with the moon shining brightly over the ocean. Jihoon asks if she's hungry, and she nods, feeling a pang of hunger. They walk towards a restaurant, and Jihoon assures her that it's the best place to eat around here. However, when they arrive, the restaurant is closed. Yooyoung wonders how they'll get in, but Jihoon's not deterred. He knocks on the door, and a voice from inside tells them they're closed. Jihoon persists, and eventually a young man opens the door, looking surprised to see him. The man's name is Kim Soo-hyuk, and he's clearly delighted to see Jihoon. As they wait for food, Jihoon tells Yooyoung how he met Soo-hyuk. He explains that they met while he was an exchange student in LA, and Soo-hyuk is thrilled to see Jihoon again. Soo-hyuk starts chatting about how amazing it was to meet someone as wealthy as Jihoon, but Jihoon just laughs it off. He teases Soo-hyuk about leaving LA to open a burger joint in Yooyoung, and Soo-hyuk grins, happy to have made the move. As they chat, Yooyoung watches them, noticing how close they are. Jihoon's happiness is infectious, and she feels like she's getting closer to him. Soohyuk agrees that it's nice to see Jihoon every day, and Yooyoung can't help but feel a little left out. However, as she watches Jihoon and Soohyuk laughing together, she feels a sense of belonging. She's starting to feel like she's part of Jihoon's world, and it's a nice feeling. Jihoon's eyes sparkle as he talks about his adventures with Soohyuk, and Yooyoung finds herself captivated by his stories. She's never seen him so carefree and happy, and it's endearing to watch. As they continue to chat, Yooyoung learns more about Jihoon's past and his friendships. She's surprised by how down-to-earth he is, despite his wealthy background. Soohyuk's enthusiasm is contagious, and soon Yooyoung finds herself laughing along with them. The three of them chat and joke, creating a warm and cozy atmosphere. As the night wears on, Yooyoung feels like she's found a new side of Jihoon, one that's relaxed and genuine. She's grateful for this opportunity to see him in a different light, and she's excited to learn more about him. Thanks for tuning in. If you're hooked and want more, please comment and subscribe. Your comments and subscriptions fuel my motivation to continue. I'll see you in the next part.